What's going on, everybody? This is Michael Hayes, and on my channel I talk about my journeys in real estate. Today I am at a rent-ready rehab. This one is ready to be rented out, and it just kind of hit me in my head, what can I talk about today? And I wanted to talk about, where do you start if you want to learn how to rehab houses, you want to do fix and flips, you want to do rental properties, maybe you want to do wholesale real estate, or you're doing wholesale real estate and you just don't know how the numbers are supposed to go when you're doing a rehab project. So I will give you guys 3 different ways that you can start, and this is completely based on just my experiences. So the very first way that you can start is to just jump in with whatever limited knowledge that you have and figure it out. Now, this is not something that I would suggest that you do. You want to go in with some kind of help, but that is how I got started, actually. To give you some background story, a few years ago, I jumped into a couple of tax sale properties that needed some pretty big work. They were some decent sized projects where we had to really redo a lot of stuff. And I went into these projects with the help of a family member. Now, this family member was supposed to be a contractor. I'm not sure if they were licensed or anything, but they told me that whenever I was ready to go ahead and do my projects, that they would be available, help me walk me through everything, and we get the job done for a great price. That was my first mistake. I did not verify credentials. I didn't check other rehab projects, and that can be a really risky thing to do. It can be that can lead to a fallout. If you have family or friends that you're relying on to do rehab work for you, wouldn't recommend it, but that was the situation that I was in. Now, as we went through the rehab project, there was a lot of stuff that went wrong. And as I was going through the house, I just started noticing small stuff, which led to bigger stuff, which led to even bigger stuff. During this time, I learned what to look out for on these couple of projects, and I had to go back and redo a lot of stuff. So it was just one of those things where somebody at our local real estate investors association calls these a really expensive seminar. You go through it yourself and just figure stuff out. You do some failing, you fail forward, you learn what you did wrong, and you never make that mistake again, which is super expensive. You're gonna make some mistakes, but the mistakes that you make, you'll never make them again on the next project. Even on a project after that, where I learned some new things like dealing with sewer lines, super expensive mistake, but there's not a house right now that if I ever, did another house project, probably won't have another issue with sewer lines. That is way number 1. Don't recommend it. Way number 2 is to go in under a mentor, somebody more experienced than you. For example, right now I'm doing project management for another company, and I'm learning a lot just based off of them being a much bigger company, them doing more rehabs. I'm learning just by doing, more volume, asking questions as I go, and seeing how things are supposed to be done as I go. Now, another way that this can work out is maybe if you go half with somebody who's more experienced with you. Maybe you bring the deal, they have all the rehab knowledge, the crews or whatever, and you just start to learn, and there's a shared profit that you guys get by going 50-50 on the project. Different ways that you can have it set up. Maybe you do project management for a contractor, and then you just learn how to rehab it. You learn how to rehab houses that way. The general idea here is to find somebody else more experienced than you, and you provide some kind of benefit. So even if that's you taking a job, they get an employee, you get paid, and you learn. You get you a partner, they make sure you don't make those mistakes, and y'all split the profit. Now, the third way, and this is a way that I just kind of found while scrolling on Google, is a website that I found called the Rehabbers Playbook. Now, I will leave a link to that website in the comments and somewhere in the description. But this website is one of the best investments that I've made. Really low cost site to use. But basically anything that has to do with rehabbing a house, or even building a house from ground up, doing a good job on a house, this answers all of that stuff from A to Z, from how to do a scope of work, how to get bids correctly on a project, how to deal with contractors, how to send your offers to bid, the different phases of a project from phase 1, 2, 3, anything that I can think of on how to rehab a house. This particular playbook has answered absolutely everything, especially the scope of work part, how to itemize, and just everything to look for on a project so you don't miss anything. So that has just been an absolutely priceless tool for me. Another part about the playbook that I like is that it gives you updates, pricing updates on like different materials and what different jobs should cost, different line items, like, you know, as far as sheetrock or flooring, what those costs should be from the low end, you know, lower end markets to high end. It covers all that. And again, any line item that you think of, you can get you a price for it. So yeah, man, I would definitely check that website out. It could be helpful to some of you guys, especially if you're coming from a situation where you don't know anything. You can go through this playbook, this website in like, you know, a couple of weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks, and your knowledge will be exponentially higher than what it was when you started. Even if you already have some experience rehabbing houses like I did, I found just a lot of useful tools and information. So check it out if you guys want me to go through the website, maybe do a website review and kind of point out some of the different things. I can do that. Let me know in the comments. Hope this helped you guys out. Let's get it. Peace.